California's Gold is produced in association with KCET Los Angeles and is seen statewide on California Public Television. This series is endorsed by the California Teachers Association, the California School Boards Association, and the California Library Association. Well, hello everybody, I'm Huell, and here we are on this beautiful morning up here in the eastern High Sierra. This is just about as beautiful as it gets. We're standing here at Convict Lake, which is one of the prettiest little lakes in the area. Convict Lake is known for its hiking, its camping, its fishing. Very little swimming goes on here because this water is ice cold. And as beautiful as Convict Lake is, we're not going to be spending much time here, because on this particular adventure, we don't care about this cool, tranquil water. We're in search of hot, bubbling water. And if you're curious as to where we're going to go to find that hot, bubbling water, well, as usual, all you have to do is come on along with us as we continue our search together for California's gold. Now, in the wintertime, this is known as a prime ski area. But in the summer, it's popular for cycling, fishing, camping, and hiking. And the Sierra are spectacular whether they're covered with snow or not. This is one of my favorite places in the entire state. And it was here, early in the morning, actually not that far from Convict Lake, where we started our adventure, near the community of Mammoth Lakes, that we found our hot, bubbling water. Well, I've hooked up with Debbie Nelson from the U.S. Forest Service, and first off, Debbie, you may be used to it, but this is about as beautiful a scenic view as I think I have ever seen. It's about 7 o'clock, 7:15 in the morning. We're up here in the Sierra, and you know why we're here. Have you heard why we're here?
Well, I heard you're looking for some hot water, Hugh.
We're looking for hot, hopefully hot, bubbly water. And we understand you've got a lot of it up here.
We do have a lot of it. By the way, welcome to the Inyo National Forest.
Thank you.
And the reason that we have so much hot water activity here is because we're standing in a huge caldera, which is a volcano that erupted 700,000 years ago. It's the biggest volcano in the continental United States.
Now wait a minute, where is this volcano?
Well, it goes from the peaks over here, which are the Sierras, to the peaks behind us, which are the Glass Mountains, and then it goes all the way up here to Mammoth Mountain. And what happened is when it erupted, then it collapsed back in and made this depression, this crater, and then underneath the surface, there's still magma. And so as water seeps down through the surface of the earth, it gets superheated, and then it comes back up.
So we're standing right now in the middle. I mean, all of this is like the edge.
Yes, it's huge, isn't it?
So we're right in the middle of a volcano right now.
Right in the middle of a huge volcano.
How old are we talking about?
About a little over 700,000 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is really something. I'm looking over your shoulder at the water down there.
Uh-huh.
That's part of the...
Well, that's snow melt that runs off from the mountains. That's Mammoth Creek. And the whole ecology of the creek has changed because these hot water, these bubbles come up and heats the water. So it allows all kinds of plant life and bacteria life and fish life that wouldn't normally be here.
So that's where we're going, right down. Well, wait a minute, there's the steam right over there.
There's some steam coming up right next to the creek.
So that's where we're going, down there.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm excited. I'm seeing some steam. That means there's got to be some hot water down there.
There's some hot water. You ready?
Let's walk down there. This is great. I knew we'd find some if we looked hard enough. You know, I don't know what I expected, but this is absolutely the whole look of the place.
Oh, it's spectacular, isn't it?
Especially, I'm glad we came down here early in the morning.
Well, that allows you to see the steam. You know, quite often this gets reported as a forest fire early in the morning. When people just see the steam coming up, they think it's smoke.
Now, is this the main area right here where all this steam is, or is there activity all back up in here?
Well, there's actually activity for 2 miles of the creek, but this is the most active right now. It changes constantly, so you never know where a new geyser is going to erupt.
So one day it might be over here and one day it might be down here.
Absolutely.
This whole area is full of, well, you call them geysers, but I don't see any water coming up out of the...
Right now it's just bubbling, but often when we'll have a small earthquake or just some sort of a change, we'll actually get a geyser that come up for a period and then it will settle down just into a hot pool.
Wow. And all of this green grass over here too, that just comes from the water itself, or is this particularly rich water, or?
Well, the hot water makes the whole canyon warm, and so we have an abundance of bird life and grasses and flowers and algae in the water and fish and things that wouldn't normally be here in a mountain stream.
So it's rich water.
Absolutely, yes.
Well, here's somebody out early this morning. Does the place get busy as the day?
Oh yes, we have anywhere from 100 to maybe 300-400 people here coming and going all day,
Good morning.
every day.
This is just amazing. And we're in the middle of a volcano.
We're in the middle of a volcano, right smack in the middle.
Now here's steam coming right out from between these. Oh my gosh, you can feel the heat.
Oh, it's warm. It's quite warm.
You can feel it. It's all around us.
Yeah, here's a big one here.
Now, where is that coming from? Is there just a crack in the earth? I mean, how far up is that steam?
Well, the magma chambers are about 2 miles below the surface, which are very close to the surface. And like I said, the water seeps down and then it comes up wherever it can find a crack or crevasse. And that's why it changes so often. With earthquake activity or just earth movement, one crack will close up and another one will open up. So it's constantly changing. This could be the site of a future pool or a future geyser. You just never know.
It's constantly changing.
Yeah.
All right, let's go down to the water itself. Because this, oh, there's another one right over there.
Yeah, coming right out at the edge of the stream.
And that could have been there today and not there tomorrow.
Yes.
Look at this. How hot is this water?
Well, this water right along the edge looks like it's boiling to me, which is about 200 degrees for this altitude.
Boy, you can feel it. This is boiling?
Right here along the edge where it's gray. Then as it mixes with the stream water, it can be any temperature from 30 or 40 degrees on up to 100, 150.
Now, can I put my finger in here?
Sure.
Boy, that is hot, hot water. Whoa. People swim in this?
Well, they do. We don't recommend that they swim in it, but we don't prohibit them. It's been used since the Native Indians, the Native Americans were here, and the pioneers and the gold miners, and you know, it's such a unique area. It's a great place to get a hot bath, but it does constantly change, so there are those dangers.
Look out here. Look at this view. Just looking out up this little area here. This is just, the beauty of it is what I wasn't prepared to see.
It's magnificent.
Now, if we were to get out in this water right here, is this hot water here or is it just hot on the edges?
Well, the actual stream temperature is probably about 40 degrees, but there are hot springs coming up from underneath the stream for the last 2 miles. So there might be places out here that are, you know, 100 degrees, 90 degrees. So you just have to sort of feel.
Boy, that would be a surprise.
Yes.
You're swimming in a stream that's 40 degrees and you come upon a spot that's 100 degrees.
Yes.
That's a wake-up call.
It is. It is. Hotter than a bathtub at home.
Now, when we were walking, there's an eggshell.
I noticed that. It looks like somebody tried to cook an egg here, and I'm sure they were successful because it is boiling water.
So tourists come by here and just for the fun of it, put an egg in the water to say that they've cooked an egg in the water.
Yep.
What else do they do?
Well, like I said, we don't recommend swimming, but certainly a lot of people do swim here and try the water. A lot of people just come for the beauty and just, look at the geological features. So, but it's also a very famous, a world famous fly fishing stream. They planted trout here in the early 1900s, and they thought they would probably die because of the hot water, and they flourished. They grow huge, and so it's a catch and release barbless hook fly fishing spot too.
So the fish like the warm water.
They love all of the food that grows in the water.
Ah. Well, can we get over to the hot place over there?
Well, we can't get over to the very hot place without actually swimming through the stream, but there's some hot places farther down on this side.
Oh, look, when you look down there, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's smoke coming up everywhere down here.
All over the place. And you can see there's places where we have yellow caution tape. That's where new springs have come up, and we haven't had a chance to fence them off. We don't know if they're going to remain for a while and they're going to be a danger, or they're going to disappear and come up somewhere else tomorrow.
Boy, this place keeps you on its toes, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay, we've got 2 swimmers in there now.
We certainly
Two
do.
swimmers who were not happy that we are here with our cameras.
They want to keep it a secret.
They want to keep it a secret, and they don't want anybody else to know about this, so they're heckling us right now. But we're going to go in ourselves. Look at this, Louie. There are bubbles coming right up out of here. Now this is not warm at all.
Well, it's just sort of lukewarm because the stream is diluting the temperature, but if you look out in the middle of the pool, there's quite a large bubble there that heats up this whole main area here.
Is it hot out there, fellas?
In places.
It's warm out there in places. So you're swimming over to the place where the water's
Freezing right here.
freezing there. What's it like when you get to the bubbles?
Well, you never know. See, this keeps changing out here.
Yeah.
And something like right here, it's very cold. Very cold.
See?
Woo!
He's saying it's cold out
Over
there.
here, it's getting warmer.
So it does change.
It changes, and it changes also by the current coming down. So you can stand in one spot and be cold and then hot and then cold again without even moving.
Well, I want to find some hot water. I don't feel anything yet.
Does the sand feel warm?
Keep waiting to find a big hot scalding area.
Here's some hot sand here.
Ah, here it is. Look at this, Lou. Oh! That was very hot.
Yes, it is.
Look at this, Louie. And now, looking at this, you can't tell at all how hot it is.
And that's why it can be dangerous.
Oh!
Especially kids and dogs, and
Now see, it just came right up on the end of my toe. That was it.
yeah. So like I said, we don't recommend swimming here, but if people do swim, we recommend that they wear shoes, some tennis shoes.
Now that was like a stream of water that couldn't have been this big, right on the end of my toe.
That's boiling.
Now this is really deceiving in a way, because look, this looks like a very nice, quiet area here. There's just one little bubble here. And trust me, when you put your foot right there, that is very hot.
It's boiling.
Wow. This is very strange that it's that concentrated and that fine a... Oh! There's another one right there.
Yeah, and it changes. You can stand there for a minute, and the next minute you're getting burned.
What are you laughing about? Now that's why you don't recommend
That's right.
that people swim here.
That's right, because people do get burned feet and dogs get burned paws, and so we try and make sure people know the risk.
Now we've come a few yards off the beaten track because you wanted to show us this, which is really different from all the other springs we've seen today.
Well, this is one of the spots where the hot water comes up and doesn't mix with the stream water. So this water here is all boiling, and it's got a very high mineral content. This is one of the places that the Indians would get the water to use for medicines and things like that. What makes this area so unique is that the hot springs water mixes with the stream, and that cools it off and allows people to use the water. This water is boiling, and you wouldn't want to touch this or swim in this at all.
This has got kind of a aqua turquoise color to it.
It does, and there's actually a couple theories. You can see the white rocks here next to me. That's calcium that comes up, and there's many minerals that come up, and some people believe that the color is because of the minerals, and some people believe that because the water is boiling for so long that it's just super pure and it's just reflecting the sky. And
so for medicinal purposes, this would have been perfect for the Native Americans.
yes, this is the most pure water.
And if I were to slip right now and fall in, I would be scalded from head to toe. This is seriously hot water.
You would probably be cooked. You
Yeah.
would probably be boiled alive.
Well, now when people come here, do they know, are they educated enough to know to stay away from, I mean,
We try.
I would have probably put my toe in there if I hadn't known better.
Well,
if you hadn't told me.
We try and fence off the extreme areas, and we try and sign everything we can.
When you come here, you have to know what you're doing.
You have to know what you're doing. You have to hold your children's hands, and your dogs have to be on leashes because they don't know.
Well, look, here we are right here. This is this scalding pool of boiling water right from the earth, in the earth. And then right over here, right next to it, is this wonderful, cool mountain stream.
That's it. And fish are swimming out there, and a lot of migratory birds stop here, and
No fish in here.
no fish in here.
And not even my toes going in there.
Nothing's going in there.
Now this is interesting. You brought us up here to show us 2 dead hot springs.
Right. These are dried up about 8 years ago. They were filled to the brim with that clear blue water like we saw before, and then they have just gradually died away and become dormant. So just when we think we know where the springs are, they change.
Now you said, I said dead, you said dormant, and you're correct.
Yes.
Because when we walked up here, you discovered something.
I was surprised. This is what we used to call the Morning Glory Pool. And we actually built this platform here so that you could look into this pool. It was filled also with that clear blue water right up to the fence line. And I thought that it was completely dead. And as we walked up here, I could hear the noise of a new spring starting to bubble up.
And there is the steam coming up.
There's the steam.
Now, can I get down here? Because I want to be able to put the microphone so we can hear, because you can actually hear.
You can hear it. You want to be very careful because oftentimes the ground is hollow underneath, and so it can collapse underneath your feet. So you want to be very careful.
But you can really hear it right here. Listen to this. Now that's bubbling up.
That's bubbling up. So now
Is it going to come back to life?
it looks like it probably will. Don't know how long it will take, but this could be another big pool again here in the very near future.
Now these things don't just shoot up like this, do they?
Sometimes they do. We've had instances where we've come out in the morning and there's been a 20-foot geyser shooting up, and then gradually over a period of months it settled back down and just created a pool.
So this thing, this bubbling we hear,
could blow.
boy, you know how to get us moving, don't you? Now people come here literally from all over the world, don't they?
They do, absolutely. Yeah, we call them hot creek rats, and a lot
Hot creek rats.
yes, a lot of people will travel around places just looking for different hot stream experiences. And this one is so unique because you have the hot water coming up and mixing with the whole cold stream. So you have such a range of temperatures and currents and different experiences.
So this is unique, not to the world. I mean, there are other places like this in the world.
Not to the world, but this is one of the largest places. You know, you'll often find just a bit of hot water here and there out in the desert, but not with a clear mountain stream running into it.
Yeah. Well, what makes you, how do you become a hot creek rat? Am I one now because I've been in a hot creek, or do you have to go on this quest all over the place in search of.
Most of the people do. There's been many books written about hot streams of the desert, and people buy these books and they go from spot to spot to spot, all summer long or sometimes all year long, just testing out all the different hot streams.
Well, this is my first one.
Yeah.
But
So
it's getting my vote of confidence, I'm telling you.
You have to start on a quest here.
And I tell you what, I'm kind of standing here in this mud, and this is a whole nother experience too, is the mud.
Yes, in fact, a lot of times people will take the hot mud and do a sort of a natural mud bath out here.
So this mud, oh wow, this mud would be rich in minerals and I mean, this is good mud for you.
It's good mud for you.
Well, I'm going to keep it on my feet. I'm not going to put it on my face or my body, okay?
Okay. Well,
I'll take your word for it.
Put it on your body and then dive into the river.
Now here comes our friend who didn't like us publicizing the place, coming out of the water. Tell us about your history with this place.
Well, this place used to be open all the time, 24 hours a day. And I can remember a time when people would come here, and there'd be 20 people sitting around here throughout the night, and the loudest voice you'd hear would be a whisper.
Mm-hmm.
Because the people that came kind of saw it as a very special, sacred place. And over the years, as it's become more known about and more popular, I've seen that change. So you get people in here. There was a period of time when there was broken wine bottles and beer cans laying around here. You get these raucous parties. And I don't think you find many places like this in the world. You can go up and down California and you won't find another hot spring like this.
Yeah.
And I think it's fine if people know about it.
But they need to respect it.
They need to respect it and appreciate how special it is and not trash it out and come with a certain attitude, That's the main thing that I could share with you about it.
Now you're here with your friends this morning. Will you all just stay out here for how long?
Till it gets too crowded and noisy.
Yeah, and then you'll leave.
Yeah.
That's why you're here early in the morning.
That's right.
This is very, very interesting. There are dimensions to this. Yeah, thank you very much. There are dimensions to this I hadn't even thought about.
Yeah.
And what this gentleman just brought up is one of them.
Yeah.
Because you can almost stand here and look out here and get the idea of just how special it is, but how wonderful it must have been back when the Native Americans were here. And it probably was almost a holy place.
Yes, it was part of their migration path. Each year they would come here in the fall, and they would stay here as long as they could until the snow sort of drove them away. But they would build little huts over the steam vents, and the men would have, powwows with the steam vents. There's a pool farther up the stream that we call the squaw pool, which is where the women and children played. And they used a lot of the water that comes up separate from the stream for different kinds of medicines and spiritual things. So it was really sort of a holy place.
Well, this is progress. People are coming here in larger and larger numbers. If we stayed until noon, like the gentleman said, the place would be packed.
It would be very crowded.
There'd probably be radios playing, people yelling and screaming.
Yep.
The spell that we feel this morning would be broken.
Well, it becomes a different place. It becomes, instead of a spiritual place, it's a little more like a rock concert atmosphere.
Oh, gosh. Well, I'm glad we're here in the morning when it's a spiritual place,
Yeah.
because this really does give us a wonderful sense of just how special this place is and how important it has been through the years to the people who have discovered it and who truly appreciate it.
Yeah. And you see a lot more wildlife and hear a lot more wildlife in the morning also, which makes it kind of nice. You hear coyotes howling up on the canyon walls, and there's some great horned owls and some red-tailed hawks and deer, and you see a lot of wildlife here when you're early in the morning before the people arrive.
Well, hello everybody, I'm Huell Hauser, and I sure hope you enjoyed this adventure. If you'd like to see it again or share it with your family or friends, or perhaps donate a copy to your local school or library, it's available on video cassette and on DVD. All you have to do is call 1-800-266-5727 and we'll be glad to send it to you right away.